Well, good morning and welcome to a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus, where it is better late than never. We're testing out some new lighting this week. That's had just a little bit of technical difficulties between that and Instagram. So good morning and welcome. My name is Wendy, and I look forward to hanging out here with you this morning for about the next 45 minutes together. We are going to work on some beauty on the outside and some beauty on the inside. So we're going to take a look at a Juvia's Place palette, an oldie but a goodie, and we're going to do a fall look. We're going to play with some fall colors, and of course, we're going to play with some glitters and some MAC lipstick because, you know, MAC is just the best. All right, so that is all going to take place, again, while we're working on beauty on the inside, beauty on the outside, getting into our Bible verses that we have for this week. So what is our easy makeup theme for today? So our easy makeup theme is how to rock a fresh fall eye look with Juvia's Wahala over 40. All right, so go ahead and grab your lashes, grab your brushes, grab your eyeshadow palette. If you don't have this one, no worries. Use what you got. And then get on back here and let's get going. A little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus. Can't wait. All right, so again, we're going to be playing with the Wahala palette, and our theme Bible verse for this podcast is Psalm 119, verse 11. I have hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. Great words of wisdom. And we're studying our way through the book of James. We've just begun chapter 3, so we're on our second little section of that. And that is all coming from the book Color Me James. You can actually go to colormejamesbook.com, and that will get you to the different formats that are available. You can see there's paperback from Amazon. I've got a spiral bound, which is my favorite because it lays flat. And then we've got the ebook as well. And so all of those formats, plus the email series that will guide you through that from beginning to end, all available on colormejamesbook.com. All right. And our Bible verse that we were working on last week, let me get the song up for you. Because that was a good one. If you didn't get a chance to hear that, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to your music, make sure that you do that. It's called Watch Your Mouth, and it's by Selah Soul. So let me give a listen to that for you. Man, I like this one.
Some chase the pulpit, craving the mic, but words can cut deep or bring forth life. If your heart ain't right, better hush that tone. A holy tongue can't ride alone. Don't be in any rush to become a teacher, my friends. Teaching is highly responsible work. Teachers are held to the strictest standards, and none of us is perfectly qualified. We get it wrong nearly every time we open our mouth.
All right, so there's also the bridge of that towards the end of the song is going to finish out that verse. And the last part of that verse is, if you can find someone who's perfect, whose speech is perfectly true, you'd have a perfect person in perfect control of life. So make sure you check out that song. Let me get this going here. There we go. Okay, maybe. All right. And I know for those of you that have been hanging with me a minute, you know I've been struggling through some technical difficulties. It's been an extraordinary, interesting nightmare. So here we go. All right. So the verse that we're going to be working on, we are going to continue on in the book of James. And you know, my mom and I were talking the other day. it is amazing how, as we're going through the book of James, let me assure you that things around me are taking place to have me to work through all the stuff for that we're learning from the book of James, all these life applications. Because yesterday I made a not so nice phone call somewhere, and then and I thought about it all day, and I wasn't like super hateful or anything, but it just wasn't as nice as it could have been. And so I go through the whole day and I'm kind of thinking about it, different ways I wish I would have handled it and all that kind of thing. And I get to working on the verse for this week, and I literally had to laugh out loud because the verse was like, you didn't do that right. Now what you gonna do about it? So our verse for this week: a bit in the mouth of a horse controls the whole horse. A small rudder on a ship in the hands of a skilled captain sets a course in the face of the strongest winds. A word out of your mouth may seem of no account. Here's the part that hurt. A word out of your mouth that may seem of no account, but it can accomplish nearly anything or destroy it. So, ow, 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 ow. Gosh, I hope you enjoy this verse this week as much as I have. Anyways, all of this in James, completely practical living. Yes, I am proof and evidence of that. So learn from me and don't do the wrong thing first. Okay, so that is our verse that we're going to be working on this week. All of our products that we're going to be used today are on a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of jesus.com/shop. Well, actually, you'll find a lot of them on the homepage because I'll have just added them. So those are all going to be there, though. They'll be in the show notes so that anything that I used, if you want to know what it was or the colors in the palette, in case you want to see if you got anything like that, that is all going to be on the website there. So make sure you check that out. Again, this is a picture of what the Wahala palette looks like. Just a nice, diverse collection of colors. And I felt definitely lends itself to that fall look that we're doing today. Okay, let me get us... There we go. Our verse is scrolling across the bottom of our screen. Let us go ahead and get started today. It is going to be fun. I cannot wait to do that, the fall cut crease that we're going to do today and play with some of those glitters. So let us jump right in. I'm going to begin with the Professional Primer. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Let me actually get the chat going up there. Oh, I didn't see you. I'm so sorry. Okay, yes. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, I could have handled the phone call way worse. That is true, but I still could have done it nicer. So that's on me. So anyways, there was a lot of frustrating things. We don't need to get into all that, but it could have been handled with a little more diplomacy and positive speech than I did. So I will have to go back and issue an apology for the frustration that led to a not nice phone call. So learn from me, do the right thing first, and you gotta be doing all that. So Professional Primer. This is the matte primer. We are going to be using that today. And let's just get a little bit of that out. There we go. About that right there. That will do the whole face. Gonna get that between our fingers. Any place that you experience foundation separation, maybe you got just like an oily patch that goes down your T-zone here, right across here, right through here. This will help even that out. I'm gonna get those little crow's feety thing right there around the lips. That's gonna help that last better. There you go. Just get that everywhere. And you want to make sure, I don't usually say this, but okay, I started to say something a second ago and then didn't. So let me back up. First off, welcome. And if you are on here with me, please go ahead and give me a shout out where you're coming from. Any question that you may have while we are live here, ask that question, whether it be something about the Bible verse, be something about something else we've done in the Bible, in the book of James. Maybe it's something that we have a question about the makeup that I'm using or something like that. Ask that now. Okay, can we... Well, of course, I was just here to... Okay, let me put this up there. So I was just today on the news. They were talking about how they are adding the new words to the Webster Dictionary. And so, you know what? If they can add, what was it? WFH, which isn't even a word. that is an acronym, then I think we can add positivity as a, as a word. Okay, so we're going to grab our, yes, I know it's the Mondayest Thursday ever. Okay, we're going to add our dampened beauty blender. I'm going to use the pointy tip of that to start out with. I'm going to grab my It Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye. And I've been asked this before. Is there any magic to how you put your concealer on? The magic is to put the concealer on. So we're going to do it a little different today. I'm going to take that Bye Bye Under Eye, which is just about empty. And I'm actually going to put it, I'm actually going to put it on the tip. There we go. Of my beauty blender right there. And we're going to dab that. And we're going to put our concealer on from the tip of our beauty blender. It doesn't really matter how you get it on there. It just matters that you get it on there. Now we are going to put it on there and leave it for a second. Let it warm up a little bit so that it will blend out nice and smoothly. And you know, I'm looking in here and I really do think that if you've been here before, I really do think I like the lighting for today just a little bit better. I added 2 little side lights to kind of flood in the thing. So tell me what you think. Too light, too bright, hurting your eyeballs, looks great. What you got going on? Oh my goodness, I just got concealer on my pants. Well, when I get to work, I will have concealed pants. It's okay. It's all gonna be okay. Jesus is in control. Okay, so now that that's warmed up, we're gonna get right in the corner there. I feel like that background music sounds a little different than normal. Maybe they added a Halloween twist to it. Not sure what's going on. Okay, so I am covering up. I got darkness happening here. I got darkness happening in the corner of my eye. I got a little redness here, a little redness on here. So wherever you have any darkness, any discoloration, maybe you got a little, acne cover up that you're doing or something like that, that is where you're going to put your concealer. It'll have hyperpigmentation from acne scars back from when you were a teenager, whatever. This is going to help level out the colors so that when you put your foundation on, it can do its job a little bit better. Now, today we are going to be playing with some fun fall colors. So we are going to have, okay, nice. Okay, good feedback. Thank you so much. We are going to be doing, playing with some dark colors and then, the glitter and all the things. So we're going to put a little Juvia's Place Eye Prep, Eye Prime on the eyelid. And then we're going to use it also for the cut crease. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that for right now. And we're just going to get that right here in the center and just blend that out. That will help the colors from the Wahala palette be able to do their vivid job a little bit better. It will extend the wear of that. And then if you are in Texas and you got that ragweed going on like we do, it will also help you from, what do you call that? Allergy tearing off your shadow. So anyways, do all of that and that will help you out. You can also use, yes, great question. Yes, you can use your concealer as well. You don't have to necessarily have an eye primer. I just tend to like the eye primer because it's got a little, I don't know. I don't want to say the word drier, but I feel like it's more balanced for the eyelid for putting those shadows on. So we've got that done. Let's go ahead and grab our foundation. Today I'm going to be using the Juvia's Place I Am Magic, and this is their Velvety Matte Foundation. So back to the Beauty Blender. We're going to pop open this bad boy. We're going to get just a little bit on the bottom of that. That's going to do everything. So we're going to start out by just tapping it, no matter what foundation you're using. Just tap it kind of where you want it to start with. And then you're just going to work it out and blend it out. So, wow, that looks a little scary right now. All right, so just blend that out. Okay, they should make it, seriously, right? An allergy primer. There you go. There's $1 million thought for you. So I guess you could look for a primer that says waterproof. That would probably be helpful. But what if your primer had, I'm just thinking out loud here, what if, for those of us allergy sufferers or those who live in states like Texas, what if the primer had Benadryl in it? You could get tired and take a nap while you're putting your makeup on. Okay, I don't know where that came from. Okay. We're just tapping that around. We're getting it all around the edge of the lips so that we get our lipstick on. For those of us who are over 40, when you get your lipstick on, it's going to keep the lipstick in nice, neat, and clean because you've given it a nice foundation to not bleed out on. Okay. We have blended that into our concealer. Worked around the nose. Got that Cupid bow. Okay. Now let's set it. Now, this week I'm using a different setting powder. This is the MAC Studio Fix. And this one, kind of things I like about it and things I don't like about it. So this one has a puff already. You don't have to buy an extra thing. It has a nice little closed top already. There's a little notch on it. And you just pull that little notch and then that little thing opens. You can see it's got like a cloth screen on it. And that's so that you don't have to worry about those little holes clogging or whatever. You take the puff and you just press it in and then it ends up magically on the puff. So that's kind of nice and convenient. Let's see. Yeah, right. So you can just do that. That's nice and convenient. The thing I don't like is it doesn't really get a whole lot of powder on there. So you have to keep pressing into it. I mean, it's a small inconvenience, but... And the good thing is this is a nice... It's a round puff, though, so maybe they need to make a triangular... Oh, there you go, Mac. There's an idea for you. Make a triangular-shaped container, and then you can put your triangle puff inside the triangle-shaped container. Nobody's doing that. Okay. All right, and we're just gonna press that in. So I'm doing this and then pressing that in. You'll feel when it doesn't feel like it's, I don't want to say wet, but damp anymore. And then you'll know once you've touched everything that you are set and ready to go. So this is very lightweight. I do like that about it. It's white, but it's translucent. So it doesn't matter what the skin color is, although I think they've done a dark in this now, but I've literally used this on all different shades of skin and it has just worked beautifully. It somehow like dissolves ish into, and then you can't see it anymore. So there we go. We have got that done. Let us go ahead and now that we're all completely one color and we are devoid of any sort of color to our face other than, for me, white. We're going to add color back in where we want it. So now we're on to our contouring. So I'm going to grab my KVD palette. This is the Shadeless Light Refillable Contour Palette. And for today, I'm going to only be using the low because I have a different palette that I'm going to use for the highlight and for the blush. So I'm going to grab my dual-ended, it's actually a foundation brush from It Cosmetics. We're going to use this end here. I'm just going to tap that in here. These are pretty good pigmented, so you don't need to like scrape it or anything. And then, yes, that'll be linked as well. I actually realized I had not already got for that, so maybe this afternoon before the link for that is on here. So we're going to go from the top of the ear in a curve motion to the corner of the eye there. We're going to stay above the hollow of the cheek. Right along that hairline. Same thing on the other side, above the hollow of the cheek in a curved motion going to about the corner of the eye there. I'm going to use a flat side of that, just one little tap right up along the edge of that hairline. Just giving a little bit of shape and color up here, warming that up. Now we're going to switch to the skinny side. Right under the jaw, from the ear to the corner of the mouth. We're going to give just a little bit of contour there. That is going to give the illusion that I have more jaw than I actually have. You got it. You got it. And then we're going to tap just in there a little. We're going to go right beside the nose, under that tip. Just going to chisel out that. Give me the narrower nose that I wish I was born with, but I'm super happy with my nose, though. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Not being ungrateful, God. Okay. Grab my blush brush. This is a MAC brush. And today, because we're using fall colors, I'm going to step it down just a little bit and go into this one. I want a little bit of the pink because my complexion is not really like a fall complexion. So I'm going to use just a little bit of that pink to try and bring it up and balance it out so I'm not like bogged down by the fall colors. So we're just going to give a couple of swipes here, right on the top of that contour, and then right in the middle on the temple. And I'm just going to give one swipe right up there into that contouring we did. We're just going to catch a little bit on the tip of the nose and a little bit on the chin. Just going to round out that color. Now we want to finish it off with some highlighter. So I'm going to grab my Anastasia highlighter brush. I'm going to go into the highlighter right here. Now, if you have brown hair or a complexion that would lend itself to a little bit more of golden tones, use this one here in the middle. I think this would suit you better. It will kind of wash me out and look a little gross. So for me, that's not going to work. For you, I would use this today, but I'm going to be using this today. All right, so we're going to get that highlighter right on the top of that cheekbone, right beside the eye socket. Then we're going to go straight down the center of the face, making sure we hit the tip of that nose there. Right here in that cupid's bow. Here we go. And now we are all contoured up. So, woo-woo. All right, let's jump in with some lipstick now. Let's see. Let's actually say our verse together before we get into that. I see it scrolling across the bottom of your screen. We're almost all the way back around to it. So let us, oh yeah, that lighting is nice. And you see I got the lights in the background going too, finally. Okay, here we go. A bit in the mouth of a horse controls the whole horse. A small rudder on a huge ship in the hands of a skilled captain sets a course in the face of the strongest winds. A word out of your mouth may seem of no account, but it can accomplish nearly anything or destroy it. And that's James 3:3-5. I don't know what that was. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my Juvia's Place. This is the Luxe Liner in Wine. We're gonna start with that, and then we're gonna use a little MAC lipstick to finish that out. So we're gonna have just a little bit of that tip going out there. Here, I'm gonna set the lipstick down before I drop it. Let's start in that Cupid's bow. There you go. And then let's round that out to the outside edge. Yeah, I feel like they definitely tweaked my background song. And then we're going to go in the bottom in the center, and we're going to be just outside the lip line, just like we were on that top. And then round it out to the outside corner. All right, we want a little bit of an ombre today. So I'm going to take that same lip pencil. I'm going to use lighter pressure and just to the inside of that, just kind of sketch it to soften that edge. You don't have to be fancy about it. We're going to go over it with lipstick. Okay, take a step back. Make sure you like the shape that you just created. It's even on both sides. Then we're going to take our... You know, I set it down and I still dropped it. Hang on. Before Wesley gets it, I was going to get it because he was licking it already. Okay, so this is a MAC. This is the Viva VG2 Viva Planet Maximo MAC lipstick. Just a nice neutral with a little tiny bit of a hint of pink in it. If you have brown hair, more leaning to olive or yellow tone skin, then you could most certainly use a nude that doesn't have that little bit of pinky to it. You could even use one that's leans a little to the gold side. So this is just what I'll be using today so I don't get drowned out in the autumn colors. Here we go. Starting out right there in the center where we didn't put any of that lip liner. Gonna get that first, and now let's go to the outside and cover over the edge of that lip liner. There you go. And now you just have a very light ombre. Okay. kind of feels like an 80s workout video. Yeah, just kind of a little bit. Okay, I don't know what they did. That's not how it sounded last week. There you go. Okay, so let us go ahead and have some fun now with our Wahala palette. So I'm going to grab the Wahala. I don't know why, but I always want to go, Wahala. Okay, so we're going to grab that. And here's what we're going to be hanging out today in this palette. So we're going to start out in this color right here, which is Pride. Then we're going to go a little bit into the Fire. We're going to play a little bit in the Unsilenced. We're going to take a step in the Cis. Let's see what else we got in there. I think we've got a little bit of BU going to be in there. And then we're going to top it with some Yanga. And then also some Pepper, what's that called? Pepper Bodhi. So we're just going to kind of be all over the place with this palette today. All right. Okay, here we go. Let's start out with just a nice fluffy brush. This right here is a Morphe. We got M433. We're just going to go into that Pride color right there. That's just going to be right up here on the top of our brow bone. Kind of a non-color color just to give us something to blend into. Because it does have that little bit of lavender, we're going to use that to kind of keep us from diving too deep into these fall colors. I mean, I want them, but I don't want to suffocate in them. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to grab, this is a Morphe M321. This is a nice, kind of a blender, but they're long bristles, so it's fluffy. I'm going to go into Fire right here. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. So we're going to go into Fire, and then we're going to do a little BU on the top of that. So start out with the Fire, right on that eye socket bone where you can feel that bone. You're just going to put that right there. And then we're going to come in. And this, when we put the eye primer back on there to do the cut crease, we'll cover up the bottom of that, so you don't need to be worried about being too terribly neat at this point. Oh, Wesley's got a toy. Wesley got a toy. And right again, find that eye bone, and you're going to be right on that. And then we're going to come in. Don't worry about blending out anything just yet. We'll get to that with some of the additional colors that we're going to be putting on. So I'm going to use the same brush that I've got, and I'm going to go into this BU right on the tip of that. And I'm going to put that just to the underneath side of what we just did on that Fire. just on the bottom. If you want, you can tap into that fire and do a little blend out on the top there. There we go. So now that we look a little, woo, we're gonna dip. Actually, let's use, I'm gonna set that brush down and let's grab this is a Morphe M431, a little looser, more tapered. This is probably still going to be in the smudger category. But we're going to right here, and we're going to go into the unsilenced right here, right there like that. This is what we're going to blend out the top of that with, right where that fire stops. You're going to use that unsilenced right on that edge and just soften that edge. So you can't really tell that what you just put on there was a nice bright orange because you're using that to blend. Here you go. And then we want just a little bit more. So I'm going to do, this is actually, well, let's do this one. This is a Morphe M152. I like this one because it's kind of like it almost looks like a finger, but we're going to use this for just a little smidge of this over sabi right here, just on one side. There you go. Just a little bit right on the top of where you put that nice orange unsilenced. So again, just a couple swipes right on the top of that. There you go. And you can see that's just nice and blended out. So we want to catch a little color in the outside corner. So let's grab, there it is. This right here is a MAC something. It's another smudger. It is a little bit rounded on the top, but it's more dense. So this one, you can see it has just a little bit of bounce back when you tap it. And we're going to go into Sis right here. We're going to get it just on the tip. We're going to go in the outside corner with that. And we're just going to give some depth right here in that outside corner. I'm going to work that right up over here just a little bit. About halfway. And then right on that outside. And again, about halfway here. Okay, I'm going to grab the brush that I used with the red. I'm just going to go over the edge of that on the outside, make sure that that's blended out nice. Any fallout that you may have, just go ahead and give that a swipe. There you go. Okay, let me set that one down. And, let's go ahead and do the cut crease, and then we'll come back and do the under eye part. So I'm going to grab my Juvia's Place Eye Prep Eye Prime. I'm going to put that on the back of my hand, just a little bit. There you go. Like literally, just a little thing. Okay. Then we're going to use, let's do this one right here. This is going to be a Morphe M410. I'm just going to get a little bit of that on the tip of that brush. And we're going to come in here and give ourselves a nice line over to that outside. And then let's pull that down and clean that out so we can get a nice cut crease going on here. We're going to go about 3/4 of the way across. There you go. And then we're going to do that same thing on the other side. There we go. I'm going to give it a little bit of an angle to the outside corner. Making sure my sides go out about the same distance as each other. All right, let me wipe that off. I'm going to set that brush down just in case I need to come back to it. I'm also going to wipe off the back of my hand, so I do not end up with it anywhere else I was not intending. I'm going to grab this brush right here. This is a MAC 104, might be 194. This is just, I think this one kind of acts like your finger. It's just a nice flat brush. So we're going to start out by going into the oversabi right here. Just get it on one side, and we're just going to put that where we just put that color. And this is just going to act as a foundation for what we're getting ready to do. We're not actually going to see this color in the end. Same thing on the other side. Okay, now for some fun. Same brush. I'm going to go into this pepper body, and we may end up having to do this with our finger. We'll see. We're just going to put that pepper body right there. I'm not going all the way to the edge, though. I'm going to go almost all the way to the edge. I'm going to leave a little line open right there. Why, do you ask? Well, you'll see in a second. Get that glitter all the way up to that cut crease line. There you go. Same thing on the other side. Just working it right up to that line. And actually, I'm going to get it, the top part I'm going to take all the way over. So let me do that over here. Okay, so you can see we got a nice glittery sparkle lower going on. I'm going to take that brush and I'm going to wipe it off on my tissue. Why do you ask? Because we're going to add just a little tiny bit of this Yanga, which is another one of the glitters in here. And we're just going to put it right there. We're just going to let that act as an accent color. And then we're just going to kind of blend it in by just tapping gently. Okay. Any fallout you got? Okay, now let's go ahead and do the under eye part. So I'm going to grab a smaller smudger because, oops, not that. Woo! I'm going to grab a smaller smudger. This is a Morphe M213. We just need a little bit because we're just working under the eye, but we're going to do almost the same color combo we did on the top on the underneath. So we're going to start here in the fire, just on the tip of that, right under the eye, and you're going to go 3/4 of the way across. I'm going to come out just a little bit with that. And I'm going to have it join that side over there. All right, so then I'm going to take it. I'm going to go a little bit into BU. We're just going to go the outer third. Okay, maybe half. And now we're going to take that and go into cis. Bring in at cis right here on that last little outer corner. Just about 1/4 of the way, just a little more than a brush width. And then take that and bring that up around that corner too. Okay, any fallout, because these are some nice bold colors. There we go. I'm going to grab a different one though, because I want to use actually, let's use this one. I like this one. This one is a Precision Eyeliner 326 from It Cosmetics. We're going to use that one because we're going to go into, let's go into the Oversabi right here. Oh, Wesley's talking. Right there on that inside. Just going to dip it in that fire a little bit so I can get a nice blend between those two colors right here. Okay, there we go. So here's what you got. You can see when I'm looking forward, that red is peeking over the fold of my eye. So that way I'm getting the impact from that red, but just that nice fall look going on there. So let's go ahead and add our eyeliner. We're going to finish out our look here. This is the Juvia's Place. This is the Egyptian pencil eyeliner in Kajal. We're going to do the outside corner. We're going to go all the way just past that green. Right about there. That's going to just give a little intensity to the outside corner. And then we're going to come in here, right in that lash line on the lower lash line. We're going to go about halfway across. Now for today, we're going to do two things we don't usually do just because we can. And because I feel like this is a fall look, it kind of lends itself to that. So the two things that we're going to do is we're going to do both water lines, the top and the bottom. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab the bottom water line. We're going to go all the way across. Just on that water line. Not making it super heavy, but just bringing some intensity to it. And then make sure where you added that pencil that these two colors come together. There we go. Now we're going to do the top water line. It's the same thing. You're just doing it on the top. There we go. That's one side. Ooh, make sure you don't muss your glitter up. I was trying to get it. There we go. I always get a little lift, but it does get a little messy when there's glitter involved. We can always fix the glitter if we need to. Okay, so that's going to add a little more power to that top and bottom. And I see a little glitter fall right there. Whoop, whoop. Let's get us some liquid liner so we can get our lashes going. I am using the Too Faced Better Than Sex. This is the Easy Glide Waterproof Eyeliner, and this is in the black We're going to go from the far outside to the far inside with just a nice thin line. And that is just going to give us a nice little insurance and runway for our lashes we're getting ready to put on. Same thing on the other side. I think I'm going to give just a little flick up right there on the outside. There we go. And I think I messed up my glitter just a smidge while I was doing all that with the liner. So I'm going to grab the brush that I had. I'm just going to tap it in here. And I'm just going to fix that little glitter spot. There we go. And what is that I see right there? Oh, just a fuzz or something. Okay. I'm just going to use my little bullet and clean up under the eye. There we go. Oh, good question. This is a Velvet Luxe. This is a Precision Complexion number 310 from It Cosmetics. I believe this has already been, they've discontinued that one, but they made another one. Technically, it's a foundation brush. If you look on my site, I've actually got it on there. I think I put bullet in the description somewhere. So if you go there and if you go to the website, go to the shop and search the word bullet, I think you'll find it that way. Okay, so now that we got all that, wow, that came out really nice. I'm enjoying that. Let us get our brows done. So I'm using the Lime Crime. This is the bushy, is it brushy? Yeah, bushy brow. And this is in the shade Anime. I always uncap the wrong end first. Are you that way too? Okay, let me get over here. Okay, so no, I'm not saying, oh my gosh, no, I'm not saying it's okay for you to start a fire today unless your fire today is on your eyelids, and then yes, it's okay. All right, so bushy brow, here we go. Whatever your brow product is, you're gonna do that now. My hair, while it is fading just a little bit, I do have that blue, the Anime on the sides. So we're going to do that. There we go. If you need any assistance with your brows, make sure to get to the Benefit Brow Bar at Ulta. They will show you what products, whether it is a Benefit product or not, they will show you what products to use. They will do a lamination, a brow tinting, waxing, threading, whatever. They are all about brows there. So they can most definitely help you out. I'm just gonna get that there and then we'll come back and brush that out. Okay, other side now. I know you can really see how clear my brows are when you see where the brow actually is. Okay, here we go. Same thing on the other side. And we're just gonna come out, give that little bit of a tail. And then flick it up so we can add a little bit of thickness to the brow because I don't have none. There we go. I'm so jealous of you who actually have good brows. Like you have hairs and all of that. That was not my gifting. But you know what? I'll take my lips. I like my lips. Okay. All right, now the other side has a brush on it, so we're just going to brush that out. Making sure those hairs go the direction I want them to go. There we go. And I see this brow product has a tendency, you don't have a whole lot of choices when you have fashion colored hair. This brow product has a tendency to leave a little, a tail or trail or something up there. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to come back with the original brush that I used right here. And I'm just going to check the underside, make sure the underside is nice and good. There we go. Okay, let's give ourselves a little bit of mascara so that we can go ahead and put the lashes on. I'm so excited. I think this came out super pretty. It looks like a sunset on your eyelids. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my what is this? Tweezer Man, Great Grips, Onyx, Great Glass, something curler. Your curler, grab your curler. We're gonna set that there. We're gonna make sure that when we crimp down on it, we're not pinching our eyelid. If you feel any pinch at all, release it, pull it out just a tidge, and try it again. This should not be a painful experience. Okay. Sorry, little glitter. Okay, here we go. And we're going to use our Bible verse as our timer. So find your sweet spot where your eyes not getting pinched. And then we're going to look up and let's just jump in on a verse. Here we go. A word out of your mouth may seem of no account, but it can accomplish nearly anything or destroy it. And we're looking at James 3:3-5 this week. So now let's kind of do it backwards and say the first part. A bit in the mouth of a horse controls a whole horse. A small rudder on a huge ship in the hands of a skilled captain sets a course in the face of the strongest winds. Okay, now release that. Let's do the other side. Find your sweet spot. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's wait till the verse kind of rolls around because we're... Okay, and crimp and let's get going. Here we go. A bit in the mouth of a horse controls the whole horse. A small rudder on a huge ship in the hands of a skilled captain sets a course in the face of the strongest winds. A word out of your mouth may seem of no account, but it can accomplish nearly anything or destroy it. And that is James 3:3-5. Okay, so I am using, this is the IT Cosmetics. This is the Superhero in Waterproof. I have really enjoyed this one. I like that it's waterproof and it doesn't break your lashes. So we're just going to give a nice single coat so that our lashes will blend in with false lashes and so that we get a little extra volume. There we go. And let's do that same thing on the other side. There you go, using the tip of that to get those outside corners nicely. There we go. I'm just going to do that again. There we go. And then let's go ahead and give... Aww! That is like the sweetest thing. I'm so excited. That is one of my hopes. We want to be adventurous, a little crazy, but not too crazy. Just a little tiny bit of crazy. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our bottom lashes now. And we're going to go from root to tip here. You don't get false lashes here, although I did see a kind of a funny TikTok video about that. But we're going to put some... Just do your regular mascara here on the bottom lashes. We did add quite a bit of color down here, so you don't need to get like too cray-cray with that. Is that still a word? I don't know. Okay, I just said it, so it is. Maybe we should add that to the dictionary. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Sweeping under the tips there so that you get color all the way to the end of those lashes. You know, one thing I have noticed as I have gotten older, my lashes have gone in shorter. I can't be the only one that's had this happen to. When I was younger, I remember my top lashes were so long, they were going past my eye socket bone. Now they don't do that. That must just be a thing as you get older. You get hair where you don't want it, and your lashes get shorter. What's up with that? Thank you, Eve. Okay, so we're gonna be using the Eyelure Lash and Line. Don't care for the adhesive. Love the lash. So we're going to take these. They've already been used, so I don't have too much to do to these. But when you first take these out of the package, you're going to grab it. Well, every time you take them out, you're going to grab it from the outside edge and remove them this way. Dry fit, just set that lash on your lash and see how long they are. Just about everybody's going to have to trim a little bit off, and you're going to trim from the outside edge of the lash. Better to have a lash that's a little too short than a lash that is too long. Why do you ask? Great question. A lash that's too long is going to poke you on the inside and on the outside, and all day long you're going to feel this little annoying pokey feeling, and you're going to think to yourself, wow, lashes are uncomfortable, and then you're never going to wear lashes again. So make sure that you trim that. In fact, I even saw, it was over in... Oh gosh, what was the brand? Was it Blink? No. House of Lashes, I think maybe. Anyway, something over, if you're in an Ulta, it's on the prestige side. It's the extended wear lashes. They have a 3/4 set. And so I love that because nobody's going to have to trim those. And if you have a smaller eyes, it may go from one side clear to the other side. But the great thing about those is that you get the volume, you're going to get the length. It's going to give you impact on the out because you know how much I love a flare. It's going to give you impact on the outside edges, but you're not going to get any, it removes the risk of your having any pokiness happening on the inside of those lashes. Okay, so I'm going to grab the lash right there, and I'm going to grab my Kiss. What is this? Strip Lash Adhesive with Aloe. Does not have latex for those of you that might have any issues with lash adhesive. It could be that the lash adhesive you're using has latex in it. So just about every lash adhesive that is black has latex in it. Not all, but just about all. So I'm just going to get that right here. I'm making sure to pay special attention to the outside edges of the lash because I do not want any lifting taking place. So then I'm going to grab the other lash. I'm going to grab it right in the center as well. And do you see what I see? I see a little something. There we go. Just make sure that you don't have any like things poking up or stragglers or anything like that. So we're going to put some adhesive right here on the top. This particular pair of lashes, usually you get about, that's a great question. Usually this pair of lashes is about, I'd say 12 to 14 uses. All depends on how you take care of it when you take it off. Or if you slept in them, because that's not a good idea. So yeah, they're about, most temporary lashes are going to be about 14 days. There are a few that are like the Athletics or the ones that are pre-adhesive. I think it's Eyelure or Kiss that does those. Those are only going to be like maybe 3 to 5 uses. They're a little on the lesser expensive side. There's also the Nothing But Lashes. Those have a little less use in them as well. So find a lash that you like and get the multi-packs because that's going to be definitely going to be the cheaper way to do it than single ones like the one I'm using today. All right, when your lash is ready to go, give it about 30 seconds or so. You're going to see that the adhesive, which was white, see how it's starting to lose its whiteness and there's a little clear to it. That's when you know your lash is ready to go. So this is a flare, smaller on the inside, longer on the outside. So it's super easy to tell which lash is which lash because they're definitely going to form to the shape of your eye. So we're going to take this one, go right there in the center. Put it right where your lash meets the skin of your eyelid. We're going to walk the inside edge right there. Get that outside edge right on there. Man, I thought somebody was ringing a doorbell because all of a sudden there's chiming in the music. I don't know what they did. Anyways, enjoy this new weird music. I just... Okay, there we go. I'm going to use the tip of that to work my lashes into those lashes so that it all looks like one beautiful thing. There we go. And now you can see the difference between lashed and not lashed. I'm going to grab the other one right there in that center. Set that down right where the lash is meeting your skin. There you go. The inside corner. I think I have some adhesive had got on here. Let me get that. There we go. And now we're going to make sure that everybody's in the same space together. There we go. Using that tip to work my lashes into the lash. Oh, Wesley's got a little thing. Yeah, right? Okay, I'm just going to press those in, make sure that everybody's where they're supposed to be, and they're going to stay there all day long. I think the ragweed has finally got to my eye. It's starting to water just a little bit, but that's okay because we almost done. Okay. And you know, nah, let's leave that. So I love the balance in this. We've got that slight little pinky tanny thing going on here. Everything draws you up to the colors in your eyes. You got some fall things going on. You got a little sparkle, a little glimmer. Okay. Nice. All right, so now that we've got all that done, we want to make sure that what we have done stays put. We don't have to do nothing to it for the rest of the day. So I'm going to grab my Juvia's Place. I just shook it up so it looks foamy. This is the Ready, Set, Sealed. Give that a little shake, a little cap. And that, oh gosh, it's so lovely of a smell. That is going to let your makeup stay all day long. You are going to be between the primer that you put on, the primer you got on your lids, the colors that you've got. You are going to be good to go for that night out or for, you know, being at work or whatever. So great versatile look for today. Definitely is going to lend itself into the fall, or if these are your colors, I could definitely see brunettes and redheads looking absolutely devastatingly gorgeous in this. I would love to see a black woman with this and see how those glitter shades really pop off of her skin and lid color. I think that would be absolutely spectacular. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It has been a joy hanging out with you. I look forward to chatting with you throughout the week and on social media as well. We are going to take a look at just the chapter 3 verses that we have done so far. If I can get there we go. All right, so here we go. So this is actually the last verse from chapter 2. So we're going to say that one together, go over last week's and then this week's as well. So the same with Rahab, the Jericho harlot. Wasn't her action in hiding God's spies and helping them escape? That seamless unity of believing and, is it action or believing and doing? Believing and doing what counted with God. The very moment you separate body and spirit, you end up with a corpse. Separate faith and works, you get the same thing, a corpse. Let me get up here so we can switch that. There we go. And then the verse that we worked on last week, which is, oh gosh. Hold on, I'm going to have a trouble because we're fresh with this and I don't have the song. Okay, so don't be in a rush to be a teacher, my friends. Teaching is highly responsible work. Teachers are held to the strictest of standards, and none of us is perfectly qualified. We get it wrong nearly every time we open our mouth. If you could find someone whose speech was perfect, perfectly true, you'd have a person who in perfect control of life. Okay, that one's still a little bit rough, but we're new to it, so it'll get better. Okay, so then we got the verse for this week. Oh, let me actually switch the slide for you. How about that? Might be helpful. Okay, a bit in the mouth of a horse controls the whole horse. A small rudder on a huge ship in the hands of a skilled captain sets a course in the face of the strongest winds. A word out of your mouth may seem of no account, but it can accomplish nearly anything or destroy it. And that's James 3:3-5. All right, so again, let's see, that is going backwards. How about if I go forwards? There we go. So Beauty and Grace Insider, that lives on YouTube. That has 3 different membership levels. The third one, the Cherished Queen, that is the one that gets you the ebook for free. So make sure that you go and check that out. That's youtube.com/littlemakeup/lot-of-Jesus/join. All right. And then let me send you out with a blessing this week. Oh, you know what? I skipped the sign. Okay, so all of the verses are coming from Color Me James. And this is just a picture of the inside. So you can see this one has a crossword puzzle, and then there's a coloring page, and you got the book itself. This takes you through all 5 chapters of the book of James. Ebook, paperback, or spiral bound. Now we get over to the Beauty and Grace Insider. So make sure you check out that Cherished Queen. And then let me send you out in a blessing this week. So, until we meet again, my friends, the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift his countenance upon you and give you peace. Heavenly Father, how thankful I am for the women that you've had come hang out here with me today. I am just delighted to get to see each of them. I love seeing their pictures when they show me what they've done, and I know that that is a joy, a byproduct of what you've given me. I pray that you would send them out with a blessing this week, Father. For those who are hurting, that you would send healing. For those who are having relationship struggles, that you would add some resolve there, that you would help them to come to a place of unity and agreement. And I just... man, there's just so many things going on in this world. The horrible tragedies that we have seen happening in the United States. And then, on the other side of the world, we've got a war still going on, Father. I know that the earth is groaning, Father. We are coming near the end. And while the rapture didn't happen on Tuesday, I look forward to one day being able to see you face to face. I just pray that you would, again, bless us this week as we enjoy our time continuing on in the book of James. Give us understanding beyond our measure and open our eyes and our ears so that we may receive what it is that you would have us to know. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Well, one of my favorite things is actually this week. This week, we have a word search, and that is my favorite. That is my favorite. Our coloring page, I got a heart on here so I don't forget my face. Let me see if I can get, there you go. This is our coloring page for this week. And so you will notice that this is, the full color version of this is our graphic for our scripture verse this week. So is that intentional? Yes, of course it is. So you can see what it looks like, but I can't wait to see how you color it. So give a color to the coloring page and then shoot a picture, tag me in a post or whatever so I can see how it came out. And I would love to see your look for today. What palette did you use? What colors did you use? Did you switch it up a little bit? And how did it turn out? So again, this has been a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus. My name is Wendy. It's been a delight to hang out with you here with you. I love you, and I hope that you have a wonderful, fantastic week this week. Mwah!